So yeah, Moon Knight really grew on me throughout the 6-week run, so now it's completed. It felt like literally yesterday the first episode came out, and that's just the way it is with short seasons like this. But today we're ranking all 6 of them from worst to best, and do keep in mind, this is just my opinion. I would really like to see your opinion down in the description, because comparing lists is one of the primary reasons I even like to do these ranking videos. Hello fellow Disney Plus watcher, it's nice to talk with you about Disney Plus today. If you love Disney and Disney Plus as much as I do and enjoy talking about it, why not click the subscribe button to stay up to date, and please give it a like because it helps the video and the channel. Thank you very much. Of course, there's going to be some spoilers in this video, including the finale. Are you ready for spoilers? Okay. Coming in at the last place is episode 6, Gods and Monsters. What a disappointing finale. Completely reversing Steven's death, the very thing that brought Mark full circle, that unburdened him from his trauma and brought the scale in balance, that weight was taken away and replaced by a rushed finale with Steven just along for the ride in a very unsatisfying conclusion. I don't know what it was, but Layla felt too over-the-top dramatic in this one, even though her new goddess Tawaret avatar, so badass. I mean, that was cool. The whole I have to finish this scene didn't make sense. Mark finally steps away from his way of killing, yeah, that's good, but that doesn't hit you. I didn't realize the show was trying to have Mark's arc as a killer wrapped up in this scene, because it's breakneck pace, generic final battle type stuff. I was thoroughly disappointed, to be honest. There's a lot more to say about this one, but I did an extensive review yesterday, so if you want to hear me go more in depth, it's popping up in the screen right now. Coming in 5th is episode 1, The Goldfish Problem. I wasn't huge on Moon Knight at first, and I know first impressions are everything, but yes, for different reasons, I've grown to love the show, but this episode felt a little wonky to me, and even a little bit below standards for a Marvel property in terms of filmmaking. I mean, the camera work was very distracting in this one. It really got better during the season, but here it constantly took me out. It really felt like the cameraman had weak arms and couldn't hold the damn thing still or was switching positions all the time. The music, like, ooh, it was overselling itself to a ridiculous extent sometimes, and I'm actually surprised I haven't seen anybody talk about this, but the score, which also got better and better during the season, I gotta say that, was so 2003 direct-to-DVD B-movie level stuff. I couldn't believe some cues that I was hearing, really. I liked the intrigue of the story right away. Steven's daily life struggles, his date, the blackouts, and I guess this is what matters most, but still most of the choices, the style, too many musical songs crammed into the beginning of the episode, nothing besides the good performance and the interesting premise got me into the show. Next up, episode 2, Summon the Suit. A huge step up, still a bit wonky looking, and what stood out to me about this episode is that a lot of the scenes are not well lit at all. The lighting was really off. Some scenes had no depth at all because of the plain brightness, and others were hard to see. It's interesting how many technical stuff irritates me in Moon Knight. I've never felt that way before with Marvel. I don't know, but at the same time, I love that they tried a different style. But this episode had so much interesting dynamics. The love triangle between Mark, Steven, and Layla was very well set up. That scene with Steven handing over his name tag at work foreshadowed so much and is one of my favorite scenes in the episode. The conversation between Harrow and Mark discussing the morality of predetermined death, the cure being the taste of the disease, you know. This episode delved into a lot of stuff and has some very cool action and some of the most iconic Moon Knight imagery of the season. Coming in at the 3rd spot is episode 3, The Friendly Type. This is where I really started to dig the show. The shaky camera work finally comes to fruition in some of the chase scenes between Mark and the gang in Cairo. There's some great deal of lore building. The tension that builds between Layla and Mark about her father is interesting. The night sky moving 2,000 years with the Earth functioning as a steady plane, and the atmosphere above moving is I don't know what it is, but it is so inspiring. Beautiful imagery. Yes, the episode moves a little bit fast and there's not much time for everything, but this one balances the Indiana Jones, the Bourne identity, the Egyptian lore, and it leaves us with Khonshu being imprisoned as a cliffhanger. This one really sold the show and got me into it. At 2nd place, we have episode 4, The Tomb. Great Tomb Raider-esque adventure with horror thrown into the mix and an awesome dynamic between Mark and Steven. I loved when they discussed the question of muscle memory. Where does one personality stop in the body, and where does the other begin? What about Steven? Does the body remember, and when can you tap into what the other one has learned? The love triangle thing between Layla and Marc and Steven was explored in an amazing way here. I loved the uncomfortable nature of seeing Layla fall in love with Steven, even though you know that is wrong and Steven is still a construct and ultimately not real. I wish they would have paid off the love triangle thing in the show. They didn't really do that, but okay. This one might as well have the most thrilling ending out of all of the episodes. The Tomb Buster film really caught me off guard, and I was asking myself 10 times, like, is this a real movie or not? In hindsight, Marc having a Moon Knight action figure, Layla being there. Unfortunately, all those things were a construct of his imagination, so all of those things didn't fully pay off in the season for me, but what a thrill ride this episode was. It was going full speed ahead through the whole runtime. And then finally, the best episode of Moon Knight is the true finale of this show. Do we really disagree about this one? Well, maybe we do, but episode 5, Asylum, is my #1 pick. This episode is by freaking far the most impressive one. It feels like sitting in the front row watching a play. That's how raw and unrelentlessly intense Oscar Isaac is in this episode. I adore the way the flashbacks are so intrinsically plot related. We get essentially the whole history of Marc, the death of Randall, the creation of Steven, and it's mostly flashbacks, which normally means the plot takes a back seat and the show would probably drag for a bit. But no, it still moves at a breakneck speed. I gotta say, Tawaret was a little goofy and much for this tone of this episode, but still, I can talk about this episode ad nausea, but we all know it was Oscar Isaac's ticket to the Emmys and the true finale of this series, right? Now it's up to you. What would be your ranking of the 6 episodes? Let me know in the comments below and add D+ on the top of your comments if you want me to give my thoughts on your thoughts in the coming Sunday video. Would be cool, a nice lively discussion about which episodes we like most, along with talking about the finale. I'm thinking about wrapping this up. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in my thoughts on all the episodes individually, you'll find it right here or in the description. If you like this video, then there's a simple way to show support. Thank you so much. For now, have a wonderful day and see ya.